Mr. Gopal. Could you please confirm that you can hear me?
Yes, very much.
Thank you. So, I hope you're doing well and having a great day so far.
Yes, thank you. How about you?
I hope me too. I'm also having a great day. So, the purpose of this interview is to gather data from professionals like yourself and then to analyze it with a view to publishing the results in the form of a book,
Okay.
which might be named as 10 Lessons from 100 Interviews.
Okay.
Yeah. So thank you so much for making yourself available for this meeting. I really appreciate it. So regarding this meeting, it'll be in interview format and it'll take approximately 20 to 25 minutes. I hope it's okay with you.
That's fine.
I will share my screen as and when required. And please consider that the questions that are asked, they'll be on behalf of my age group, which is around 11 to 13 years old. I wonder if you have any questions before we begin.
No.
Okay. So here's the agenda for today. It is mainly spread into three sections. In the first section, there'll be a set of questions asked, followed by a personality check in the middle, which is just a fun activity and something for you to take away. And lastly, some suggestion and advice questions from you. So I hope you're as excited as I am. So let's begin. So just to begin with, could you please briefly describe what your role is professionally?
Uh, I'm a telecom engineer.
Sorry, you're not that
By
audible.
I'm a telecommunications engineer by vocation. By education and vocation. I basically I design and plan mobile networks, or more on the voice side, and value-added services that you get on the mobile network.
So do you like your job? How do you feel about it?
Oh, very much. I mean, I should tell you that for the past, I kind of retired from active service a few years back, and now I'm on my own with a friend on a startup. It was based on new technologies like IoT, RPA, artificial intelligence, etc. Of course, if you need, I can explain it a bit later.
Yeah, sure.
Uh, um, yeah, but these are like interesting areas, so it's good, and I like my job when I was in that industry.
Thank you. So I'm interested to know what hobbies you enjoy. Are there any in particular?
Pardon? Can I repeat it?
So I'm interested to know which hobbies you enjoy.
Uh, I like reading. I like to collect coins.
Mhm.
These are my primary hobbies.
So what type of coins do you have? Any in particular?
Coins?
Yeah.
Yeah. My specialty. I focus is on Indian coins. Basically, around the independence of, or rather, I should say, British India coins, and later day free India coins. But then, with friends or wherever when I travel, I do manage to pick a few coins from whichever countries I have visited, or I get into contact with friends, and then
Cool. Thank you.
whatever.
I think you have a very good hobby about collecting coins.
Yeah.
Okay. So moving on to the next question. Do you have a soft skill that you're very glad to have?
Yeah, I like to teach.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I like
Really?
to write sometimes. I'm not a prolific writer, but I do like to pen my thoughts. These are things I think I I like and I enjoy.
Thank you. So I think teaching is also a very good a skill that someone can have because teaching is also it's a brilliant thing to do. Because if you know how to teach, you'll so you can help other people.
Definitely. I mean, that's one of the intentions, or rather, the feel good factor about it.
Definitely, yes. Thank you. So now I'm wondering if there's a skill that you wished you had.
Um, well, maybe I mean that there are a lot I like maybe in sports. I'm not really very good in sports.
So you wish
Or
you were a little better at sports.
in physical stuff. I've not really trained or spent much time there. But maybe sometimes I think maybe I should have done that, or maybe it should have been better had I had some more time on that.
Definitely. So is there any like particular reason why you think you would be better? Why you want to be better at sports?
Okay, when I say sports, I mean more of physical things. Okay, so oh, I think I I liked it when I mean currently I live in Bombay, and I grew over here in Bombay, and the Bombay city. I mean, if you see, it's a fairly dense city. We don't have too much of open spaces. Uh, but when I had been abroad, or when I'd been to other places where it's open, and I really liked to walk or to cycle those areas. But then I find that maybe physically I'm not really, because I've never exercised so much. I tire out easily, and I'm not able to enjoy the place as much as I would want to. So there's a regret, maybe. I mean, maybe if
No,
I can call that a regret. Yeah.
good to know because like I'm also doing cycling, so I'm going to be going to high school soon.
Uh-huh.
So like at the beginning of September.
Mhm.
So I'll be going to my high school by on good days. I'll be cycling there. Otherwise,
Okay.
I might be going through bus. I'll have to walk, cycle towards the bus station. So I'll be later on. I'll be getting lots of exercising. Okay. So moving on from skills to advice, has there been a time when you were given a piece of advice and that you were very glad to have followed it?
Well, normally when somebody gives advice, the first reaction is not to be impressed with it. You generally think that you know better, and you really don't like others intruding into your thoughts. I think it is quite natural, but as one grows up in life, one understands at least advice from well-wishers, advice from parents, from brothers, sisters. They are the problem, and good friends. They are probably the most genuine, and it does have your well-being in their midst. So, and I've been lucky enough to have some good advice, and especially from my late father. So yes, and I've taken it. Maybe at that time I may not have realized it, but it kind of stuck to me. And later on, when I grew up, I fall back on those advice and those thoughts.
Definitely. Okay. I think that's very good. So moving on, I am very interested to know if there's been any advice you have been given, but you really wished you had followed.
I mean, an advice which I have not followed.
Yes, but you really wished you had followed it.
Honestly, I can't think of any at this point. Um, uh,
Mm,
maybe like I mean, okay, when I used to grow up, um, one of the things to do was to get into the IIT. I mean, these are the institutes of technology in India back in the 1990s. I mean, these were like the place to be in for a student, who's coming out of school. But then they were quite tough to get in. Uh, Maybe sometimes, if I were to think, if at all, it's not that because you ask this question. Maybe I could have been more serious in my studies, probably paid more attention. But then, fine, that is one way of looking at it.
Okay,
So,
because serious about studies. I think it'll help you a lot in life because if you're smart, it starts being good. Okay.
yeah.
So just before we move on to the second section, the personality check,
Mhm.
could you please try to describe yourself with 3 or more words?
Well, how do I describe myself? Um, I'm a simple person. I was born in India. I grew up in Bombay. I I was born with two sisters. The two sisters and me. We have 3 children. Um, I had a fairly good life. It was quite nice. Looking back, and even now things are good. And I've
Sorry, your
kept
voice is a
kept
bit low.
and they okay. I try to keep my life quite simple, and I've been successful. And frankly, I don't have much regrets, or any regrets for that matter. I've done. I think I picked up science. I that was the subject in which I kind of majored from school, and then I went on to do my uh, graduation in physics. And before I started a course in electronics and communications engineering, and after that I joined the company here in Bombay for a few years before I moved to Muscat, where again I was in the same industry, but but a company which started there. I spent a good 10 years. That was one of those quietest and very nice phases of my life. Then I retired and I came back to Bombay maybe 3 years back in 2017. And here I am talking to you.
Oh, thank you. I think that's a very interesting thing that you said. Thank you. So now we have finished the first section of this interview, and We're going to move on to the second section, which is the personality check.
Okay.
So, and if you ask me, I think it's probably the most fun part in this whole interview. So, before we start, there aren't any right or wrong answers, and if you feel that there are any hard questions, feel free to step in.
Okay.
So, can you please put the following 5 animals in the order of your preference?
Big sheep, horse, tiger.
Sorry?
No, I just read it out. The order in which you would want me to pick it up.
Yes, please.
Say tiger, horse, cow, sheep, and pig.
Thank you. So, we'll move on to the next slide to find out what each one means. So, so you said tiger, horse, cow, sheep, and pig. So this will describe personalities. Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Oh no, sorry. The not personalities. It'll tell you what your priorities are in your life. Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So the tiger, because they said tiger first, it's either your pride or passion,
Okay.
then your family,
Mm-hmm.
then your job,
Okay.
then love, and then money.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a small prediction that I've created.
Mm-hmm.
We'll move on to the next one. So can you please tell me a word that you use to describe each one of the following?
Dog, cat, rat, sea. Cute or lovely.
What would you say cute or lovely for, please?
Maybe lovely.
Yes, but will you say it for the dog, the cat, the rat, or the sea, please?
Pardon?
What will you say cute or lovely for?
Oh, for each of them, is it?
Yes, please.
Okay, dog, cute, cat, Uh, I think it's cute.
Mhm.
Rat, rat. Okay, it's nice. I mean, and sea, it's lovely.
Thank you. So this will um, tell the personalities, yes. So because you said the dog, it
Mhm.
implies your personality. So you're cute, and your partner's cute. Your enemies are nice,
Okay,
and your life is lovely.
okay,
Yeah, it's just something that I have created based on what most of the interviewers I have interviewed have said and what each one means.
okay, okay.
Okay, so I'll stop sharing and we'll start the third section, which is the suggestion and advice section. So,
Mhm.
from your personal experience, if you would like to give a piece of advice to children, what
Mhm.
advice do you think you should give to them that they should follow?
I think children should know and appreciate their roots. Okay,
Yeah, definitely.
they need to relish or I mean cherish their parents because I think at least the way life is moving, at least from our generation onwards, we live in such a life where I mean, we don't realize it when we are with our parents, that the number of days, the number of time that we spend with our parents. So because we are very very busy growing up, for example, like a child like yourself, you're busy in your own schedule,
Mm,
but then soon you will grow up, and then you'll have to leave the place and then go on your own. I mean, be it studies or a job or a business or whatever you would pursue in life, and then parents just become sometimes something in the back of your mind. We shouldn't let that happen.
mhm,
Parents, okay, I mean, I would suggest, I think we take care of I mean, we have to cherish our parents
mhm.
as much as possible.
And we should
That
appreciate everything we have,
exactly,
parents,
yes.
everything.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not because okay they provide you with all that, but just that, I mean, there's no one else in this world who is a genuine well wisher as much as your parent is.
Mhm, definitely. Thank you. So, moving on, so it's still based on advice given to children, but what advice do you think you should give to children that they shouldn't follow or
I
shouldn't
think
do?
they shouldn't do. Okay, I think I mean I do not know whether you if you would understand this at this age, but I think one should not follow or seek pleasure just for the sake of seeking pleasure. Okay,
So don't do things for the sake of it.
don't not that way. I mean, uh, I mean, there are more values in life uh, which are much superior to just one's own pleasure than just being pleasured by oneself. So one has to I mean, for example, when we have other people with us, we need to consider consider their happiness, their well-being. Okay, it cannot be I alone. I i alone, I mean, my own happiness is what matters. We should not have that kind of an attitude.
Hmm.
um,
Thank you. I think that's a very good piece of one. So thank you for all your answers. We have now completed the third section of this interview. So just to conclude, could I please request you what you liked about this interview?
uh, well, I'm not uh, talked to a little I mean to a person like you, I mean, as a child. I'm
Me
sorry
too.
if I can okay. And you come out as very very brilliant. I mean I really liked you, the way you ask, the way you talk, and I wish you all the best. Okay, and thing is, I mean, maybe when I was your age, I wouldn't have the guts to speak to people. You know,
Mm, okay.
uh, at least not this exercise that you're doing. Okay, I just can't think of myself doing that when I was your age. So I'm quite impressed. So I like this concept, even though frankly, I am still curious on this project. I mean, you say 10 stories from 100 interviews. Uh, it's I mean, I still am wondering what is it going to come out there. But I think one probably I will know it later when things are done. Um, and of course, you're using technology like I mean, we didn't have this kind of a facility where you could talk freely to a person who's not in your immediate neighborhood. And I like it. You're using it to the hilt, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you. And just for the scope of improvement, if I had to change something, what do you think I should change?
Um, okay. The thing is, okay, you sent sent some put some personality questions. Now these questions are normally like I mean, these are not nothing new as such. I mean, maybe like you could have. I mean, I see. It's what like I mean, as I said earlier, I still am not very clear on what is the end objective that you're aiming at.
Sure, I'll add it.
Maybe like maybe you could have dug in a bit more uh, with some more simpler questions. Uh, but then I wouldn't know whether that would meet your ends or not.
Mhm.
So I mean, maybe it's a bit premature for me to give you an advice on what could have been better. Okay, I mean, this honestly, this is the first time I'm actually talking to a person like you.
Thank you. So, thank you for all your time today. And as a token of appreciation, I would like to present you with, sorry, wait. I would like to present you with this certificate for taking part in my interview project. So here it
Okay,
is.
thank you, thank you,
Yeah,
thank you, Arya.
welcome. So I'll email it to you, and I really hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Well, it's pretty much ended for you.
Bye bye.
Bye. I hope I can see you later. Bye.